The tennis landscape continues to shift beneath our feet as Novak Djokovic's withdrawal from the Cincinnati Open completes his absence from the entire North American hardcourt swing. This means the 24-time Grand Slam champion will arrive at Flushing Meadows without a single competitive match since his Wimbledon semifinal defeat to Jannik Sinner, a gap of over 6 weeks. This unprecedented preparation or lack thereof for a major he won just 2 years ago has sent shockwaves through the sport, particularly when coupled with his and the equally notable absences of Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz from Canadian Open. The convergence of these withdrawals represents not just scheduling quirks, but potentially a fundamental recalibration of how elite players approach the grueling ATP calendar. Djokovic's dual withdrawal is especially surprising given its deviation from tennis orthodoxy. While skipping one Masters 1000 event before a slam has become increasingly common, a necessary concession to the physical and mental toll of the modern tour, bypassing both the Canadian Open and Cincinnati Masters is exceptionally rare. These tournaments aren't mere exhibition, they're crucial proving grounds. The transition from the Wimbledon grass to hard courts demands match play to recalibrate timing, test physical resilience on the surface, and hone tactical adjustments against top-tier opponents. For a player like Djokovic, whose game is built on razor-sharp precision and competitive intensity, this absence feels so risky, and he is a player who never takes risks, especially once connected to his match readiness and sharpness. The fact that his last non-Grand Slam match occurred back in May at the Geneva Open only heightens the sense of competitive rust accumulating. The lingering mystery surrounding Djokovic's decision is perhaps its most compelling aspect. This ambiguity fuels speculation. Is it fatigue management after a deep Wimbledon run at 38? Strategic preservation focusing solely on slam number 25? Is it the lingering injury that saw him basically concede the match versus Sinner? Or something less predictable, personal commitments, dissatisfaction with conditions, or even a calculated psychological ploy to enter New York as the ultimate wildcard? Unlike Sinner and Alcaraz, whose Canadian Open withdrawals were attributed to specific, albeit minor, physical concerns, hip and elbow discomfort for Sinner, reported muscular fatigue for Alcaraz, they are both going to play in Cincinnati. Djokovic's absence from both tournaments remains an enigma. It leaves fans and analysts parsing his post-Wimbledon comments where he dismissed retirement rumors. "I'm planning to come back, definitely at least one more time," yet acknowledged the challenge of immediate perspective. It's hard to put things in a larger perspective, fresh off the court. This gap between stated intent and competitive absence deepens the intrigue. This trend doesn't exist in isolation. The Canadian Open witnessed the extraordinary spectacle of the ATP's Big Three: Djokovic, part of the old and new Big Three, Sinner world number, and Alcaraz reigning Wimbledon champ, all absent simultaneously. Tournament director Carl Hale's public disappointment underscored the tangible impact: a diluted field, diminished star power, and a narrative vacuum at a critical pre-US Open event. While Sinner and Alcaraz are expected to compete in Cincinnati, barring late setbacks, their initial withdrawal signals a broader pattern. Even these young titans at just 22 and 23 are embracing highly selective scheduling. This represents a stark departure from the Ironman ethos embodied by the original Big Three, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic in their prime, who built their legacies and rivalries through near-constant presence across slams, Masters thousands, and often 500-level events. Their relentless participation created a continuous narrative thread, turning the entire season into a cohesive drama culminating at the majors. Today's stars seem to view the tour differently. The Masters thousands are no longer mandatory waypoints, but optional tune-ups, secondary to the ultimate goal of peaking at the slams. For Djokovic specifically, the stakes at the US Open are immense. He defends significant points as the 2023 champion, yet his shocking third-round exit to Alexei Popyrin last year was his earliest Flushing Meadows departure since 2006, entering this year's tournament cold, without the rhythm, confidence boost, or surface-specific fine-tuning that Cincinnati provides, is a monumental gamble. The reasoning on his absence actually raised more questions than answers. Tournament officials confirmed his Cincinnati withdrawal was due to a non-medical issue, a phrase that hangs in the air, tantalizingly vague and open to endless interpretation. It deliberately rules out injury, yet offers no concrete alternative. Though Djokovic is not entitled to say specifically why he withdrew, with most fans speculating that he is simply preparing for a final push at a big tournament, while others think that his issues with injuries are having a real hit on his match readiness. Can his unparalleled experience and ability to elevate his game for slams overcome the lack of match sharpness? History offers mixed messages. He has triumphed after limited preparation before, before, but rarely before a major demanding the physicality of the US Open hardcourts. Furthermore, his recent results show vulnerability against the very top tier. Losses to Sinner at both Roland Garros and Wimbledon, and to Alcaraz in the 2023 Wimbledon final and 2024 final. The non-medical issue withdrawal amplifies the pressure, transforming his US Open campaign into a high-wire act with no safety net. Meanwhile, Cincinnati becomes a critical proving ground for Alcaraz and Sinner. Their participation is vital not just for their own US Open preparation, but for the tour's health. Sinner navigating his recent high-profile coaching reunion with Riccardo Piatti amidst lingering questions about durability, needs matches to silence doubters. Alcaraz, known for his explosive, physically demanding style, requires the competitive reps to avoid the slow starts that have occasionally plagued him. Their presence offers a counterpoint to Djokovic's absence, showcasing the divergent paths elite players now tread. The underlying question transcends Djokovic's specific non-medical issue. It challenges the sustainability of the traditional tennis calendar model. The sport's physical demands have escalated. Baseline rallies are longer and more punishing. Movement requires explosive power, and the season offers minimal downtime. Advanced sports science now champions data-driven rest as essential for peak performance, not a luxury. Consequently, the next generation seems unlikely to replicate the Federer-Nadal-Djokovic model of omnipresence. The cost, however, is significant. When stars vanish from prestigious Masters events, the ATP Tour loses narrative cohesion, momentum fragments. The week-to-week storylines that build anticipation and emotional investment for the slams weaken. Events like Cincinnati, steeped in history and prestige, risk becoming perceived as mere stepping stones rather than destinations in their own right. Djokovic's enigmatic withdrawal from Cincinnati, leaving him untested and shrouded in mystery before his quest for a historic 25th major, isn't just about one champion's preparation. It's a potent symbol of a sport grappling with an evolving reality, one where the relentless pursuit of Grand Slam glory may increasingly come at the expense of the consistent season-long spectacle that once defined it. The US Open will reveal whether Djokovic's gamble was genius or folly, and whether this fragmented approach is the new championship blueprint or a cautionary tale. But stepping back from all the details, we can say that Djokovic's decision to skip both the Canadian Open and Cincinnati, arriving at the US Open without a single competitive hardcourt match since May, underscores a shift that goes beyond physical recovery or scheduling preference. It suggests a recalibration of priorities, where Grand Slam milestones outweigh the rhythm and prestige of the ATP calendar. For a player who has built his legacy on meticulous preparation and a relentless hunger to compete, this departure from routine feels deeply symbolic. The mystery around Djokovic's non-medical withdrawal adds to the intrigue. It offers no clear explanation, only speculation. Is it rest disguised as strategy, an attempt to preserve his body for one last historic push? Or is it a sign that the grind of the tour, even for the most durable champion in history, is beginning to take its toll? What's certain is that this break from convention increases the stakes in New York. Djokovic isn't just chasing his 25th Grand Slam title, he's doing so without the typical lead-up, without the reassurance of having tested his form under pressure on hard courts. Historically, he's shown an almost supernatural ability to raise his level at slams, but never under quite these conditions. The gamble is real, and the margin for error at Flushing Meadows is razor thin. With rivals like Sinner and Alcaraz levels above everyone and tuning up in Cincinnati, Djokovic enters the US Open not as the clear favorite, but as a looming question mark. So what does this all mean? Djokovic's path to slam number 25 is now laced with uncertainty, but perhaps also clarity of purpose. He is betting everything on New York. If he wins, the move will be hailed as brilliant, a masterclass in career management. If he falters, it may spark questions about the risks of abandoning the old playbook. Either way, his absence from Cincinnati is not just a scheduling footnote, it is a marker of tennis in transition, a reminder that even the most proven formulas are being rewritten by time, circumstance, and the ever-changing demands of greatness.